anything you need for Halloween. This is Haunted School, and welcome back to another video on my channel today, guys. And in this video I am going to be going over something that I wanted to show for a long time, that's been in the making of building up, and that is my Funko Pop horror collection. I guess I've been collecting since 2018, and we built quite a collection. I've got most of the horror characters I want now, whether it's just Halloween characters, Disney, or even just slashers and just from horror films. So as you can see, here's a look at them all in the box. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say for this part, and let's take some of them out. I guess the first one to start off with is probably the most traditional one, and that is Frankenstein. And I believe this guy was some sort of exclusive. I got him quite a while back. As you can see, this is the version that's holding the flower, and the head sculpt on this one's really nice. He's got the bolts at each side of his neck, and he's overall got his iconic green skin colour about him, and obviously his like flat head at the top. It's a really cool pop figure in my opinion. Here's a look at him from the back, and most of them do have articulation at the head, so you can just turn the head, and that's Frankenstein. So I guess onto the first Disney or Tim Burton character in my collection. This is Jack Skellington. This one has quite a good likeness as well. As you can see, he's got his smile, and the face looks pretty cool too. Even his suit he's got on very much resembles Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Sorry, you kind of dropped him there, but he's a pretty cool pop figure. There's not really too much to say about him, but yeah, that's him. I guess onto the next one. You can't really have Jack without Sally. This one is probably my most recent pop figure actually. I was looking at Sally, but this one's basically just sitting down, and she's kind of just like sewing, I think. Yeah, she's sewing her arm up, as I remember in the film. Her hairpiece is really long, so it actually just goes down when you just stand her on a surface, but she's got some really nice detail. I really like this pop figure. And yeah, moving on to the slasher characters, I'm going to start off with my personal favourite of all time, and just as a slasher in general, and it's Jason Voorhees. I really do love the Friday the 13th franchise. If you've seen my videos before, I've probably went over it, but I really am a fan of it, and I love this pop figure in general. I think he was my second pop figure I ever owned out of the horror ones, and he's got some really nice detail on the hockey mask. His head's all like deformed like it is in the film. I'm pretty sure this one's based off Freddy vs Jason. At least the look of him looks pretty similar anyway. As you can see, he's got his tattered up suit with his jacket. He's got some rips, and obviously the iconic bloody machete that he holds. I really like this pop figure. As you can see, he's got some detailing on the back too. I guess another one to talk about while we're still on the topic of Jason is 8-bit variant. I also picked this one up as well. I don't know, the 8-bit ones are really quite nice too. They're a lot heavier than the actual regular pop figures, and you can't really turn the head, at least with this Jason. But he's basically just an 8-bit version. He's got a lot of detail. Did a really good job at getting a resemblance. It actually does go into depth pretty well with some of the details, such as in the hockey mask and his eyes. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So I'm gonna also bring in the regular one just to give you a bit of a comparison. You guys probably seen this one coming as the second one I go over, and that is the man himself, Freddy Krueger, from the Nightmare on Elm Street. I believe this one is based off the Robert Englund version of Freddy, but at least the likeness looks a lot like him anyway. As you can see, he's got a lot of detail, such as in the hat, his head. It's got all these burn marks around him, just like how he is in the film. They did a really good job at getting the likeness good on Freddy yet again. I kind of wish the eyes were a bit more, had a bit more depth around them, kind of like how Jason has. But here is his sweater. It looks a lot like how it does in the film. And there it is, his slashing, his knife hand, I guess you can say. It's got some really nice detail in that. And that's basically all for Freddy. let's get on to probably the third most iconic slasher, and that is Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise. This one I'd probably say is one of the lesser detailed ones out of the three main slashers, but he's pretty cool nonetheless. He obviously has his mask on, you can see his eyes through there. And he also has the brown hair on the top, and I actually can see a bit of airbrushing on there, which is pretty cool too. Definitely adds to his detail. But yeah, he's obviously all dressed in his blue jumpsuit, which he wears in the films, and he's got his iconic bloody knife that he holds. So yeah, he's got quite a bit of detail, but not as much as Freddy and Jason in my opinion. This one right here is another one I acquired recently as well. This is Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one is the remake one. I believe this only just came out last year, and this one in my opinion looks a lot more like Leatherface from the movies than the original variant. But obviously that one was one of the first ones that came out, so you can't really knock it. But this one has some really cool detail. You can see all the stitches, and you can see the face underneath, and it's a really well detailed pop figure. And has his chainsaw, and he's got an apron on, as you can see, and it's all covered in blood. And not really much detail goes to spare. He's very well done in my opinion. I'm really glad I got this one. And now this one is probably one of my only ones that aren't official by Funko themselves, but it's made to look like the Funko one, and that is Ghostface. Ghostface was one of the last slashers I actually needed, and they go for so much online, so I kind of just went for this one for now. But he's really cool. He does look a lot like the actual pop figure, which I'm happy about. It looks a lot like Ghostface with the it's obviously got the face there, and a pointy bit that sticks up on the back of the hood, and he's got kind of like his robe on with the drapes underneath, which is pretty cool, and he holds his knife in that hand. And onto the back, there's nothing really too much, and here's a look from the bottom. So that's Ghostface. Now on to one. This one is yet another one of the icons. This one's quite an essential if you're starting a horror pop collection, and it is Choki from the Child's Play franchise. This one, I believe, I'm pretty sure it says on his box, is either based off him from Child's Play 2 or 3, something like that. He's obviously, before he was a lot scarred up like in these newer films, and he's actually quite much smaller than a regular size figure, which is pretty cool because he's obviously a doll. But obviously not to scale, because he'd be a lot smaller. He's obviously got his good guys, guess dungarees type thing on there, and he's got his knife in his hand. His suit looks a lot like he does in the film. Yeah, you can't really complain with this one. He's got a lot of detail and does resemble a less, I guess, scarred up Chucky from the film. But you can't really have Chucky without his bride Tiffany. This one was one I had to pick up because I really do like the Child's Play franchise, and this one's from Bride of Chucky, obviously. And she does spare quite a likeness to the doll in the film. Obviously, she's got the shadow in her hair and also the eyes, and the dress is sculpted pretty nicely as well, and the jackets. Here's a look from the back. Nothing really too much, but yeah, it's got very good pop figure. And that's pretty much all I have to say. And here's a bit of a comparison with Choki himself. So now onto one. It's been, to be honest, quite a bit of a nightmare for me to acquire, and it is Regan from The Exorcist. And I say that because obviously sometimes the price has gone up too high with this being discontinued for a bit, or it's just not at shops I can find it in. But no matter, we managed to find one a couple of months ago, and I'm really happy with it. She's got a lot of detail. She's got obviously her hair is all messed up because obviously she's possessed, and she's got all vomit around her mouth, which is pretty cool, and also on her dress. And she's also got these, I guess, things around her wrist, so kind of like when she was tied to the bed, and and she kind of has little feet underneath, which is a nice touch. So this one right here, this is Pinhead from Hellraiser. I'm pretty sure it's Hellraiser 3 this one's from. So this one is very well detailed figure again. I keep saying the same thing, but I'd say they definitely went all out by sculpting the body with all the like tools that he's got on his robe, and he's got that cube in his hand. I'm not really sure what that name is. To be quite honest, I haven't watched any of the Hellraiser franchise, so I'm sure one of you guys can correct me in the comments below on that. But I really like the character in general, so I just had to add him to my collection. He's got all the pins over his head, kind of like obviously how his name is. And yeah, that's Pinhead. Yeah, again, it's an awesome one to have. No, it's probably my second favourite horror character of all time, and probably in my pop figure collection, and that is Hannibal Actor. I really like this guy. Obviously, he's a bit of a psychopath. He's got his straight jacket on, and he's got his face mask on, as you can see there. He does bear quite a resemblance to the actor in the film. I forgot his actual name, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. But yeah, this one's really cool because he's actually on his, I guess, sort of like transport thing. Or obviously that hasn't come to mind, but that looks really cool too. That's something that I could have easily missed out on. This figure right here, this one's quite a one that's sought after, and obviously, and this one isn't an official one either. This one is Billy the Puppet from Saw. This one has been quite a pain for me to find as well, because there's the price is going up for him as well, and there isn't really any in the box for a decent price, because I'm quite mainly an in-box collector for pop figures. So I just went for this one. But he's really cool nonetheless. His eye's a bit derpy, but what can you expect? But yeah, it looks a lot like the actual figure. He's got the face paint on, and his hair looks nice. As his kind of like little suit, and his hands, which are pretty cool. And he's got little red boots on underneath. The only shame about the Billy pot figure is that he doesn't come with a tricycle. That would have been a nice little touch for him, but I'm not sure if there is a version like that already. This one right here is probably indeed the creepiest one in my collection, and that is Annabelle from the Annabelle films, obviously, and the Conjuring franchise. But they've really kicked out the park on this one when it comes to detail and looking like the exact doll in the movie. She's got a big crack down her eye, which not really many pop figures have that kind of detail, and her hair's done really nice. And obviously the dress is kind of made to look exactly like the doll, not sort of like a person, so that's why the arms are like really small compared to a lot of the other ones I've shown in this video. And she's got little red ribbons in her hair too, which is a nice touch. My last one from the Conjuring franchise, we've got the Nun. This one is one I got quite recently as well, but yeah, she's really cool. There's two variants of this one. There's kind of like a screaming one, and there's a more straight face one, which I've got here. But yeah, she's awesome. She's got the yellow sort of like evil eyes, and the like cracked skin down her face, and she's got this sort of like hood on that's white inside, and she's got some really good detail on her body. If you look there, she's got the like cross on her neck, the necklace, and yeah, looks pretty awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for her. And what you guys could probably see in the video through me talking all these, I'm going to leave these guys till last. That is my entire Pennywise collection. So it is probably in my top 5 horror films of all time, and the original franchises of all time, I guess you can say, with the original and the new ones that came out. Well, I've got all these guys from the first and second films, but sadly I don't have the original one. I'm going to get him at some point. So let's move on to the first one. This one is I guess this was the first release of Pennywise from the 2017 film. Kind of has a bit of stability issues, these ones do, because obviously the hair. But this one's holding the boat that Billy made for Georgie in the film, and obviously we all know what happens. Pennywise managed to get it. I think they made a release with green eyes of this one holding the boat as well. This one's the blue eye variant. He's got a lot of detail, and it looks a lot like the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise. And in the ones from the first film, we got a bit of a lighter suit on than the ones in the second film. But there's a lot of detail in that. But yeah, now on to this one. This one I've actually made a video of before. It's probably my very first Funko Pop video I've made on this channel, and that's the spider legs Pennywise. This one's obviously when he's a bit more messed up towards the end of the film. He's got spiky hair, and his sharp teeth are obviously sticking out, and he's got the yellow eyes, also known as the deadlights, I'm pretty sure they're called. But he's very spider arms. There's a lot of detail in them. This one I can actually never stand up. I guess I'll show you that there. But he's very back heavy, this one is, for some reason. That's the only real shame about it. This next one, this one was actually an Amazon exclusive, I'm pretty sure, and this one is the one holding the severed arm, just like in the film. And yeah, he's really cool. He's got the blood around his mouth. And I'm not sure if you can see, he's actually got some cracks in his head, which kind of resemble how he looks as well, which is just, yet again, added texture and detail. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. There's not really any more differences. And the heads are a bit bigger on the newer ones as well, which is kind of interesting. So with them out of the way, we're going to move on to the ones out of it, Chapter 2. These ones are quite a bit more unique. They made a lot more different looking ones in this series. And the base sculpt on these ones have a lot more cracks in the head, which I noticed. And I think the hair's a bit more orange on them as well, which is pretty cool. But with the face sculpts, I think the smile is the only thing that's really different, apart from that. And the suit's a lot darker than the other ones as well, as you can see right there. But this one's kind of just in a natural pose with his head tilted slightly to the side, which is pretty nice. I kind of just like this one for its simplicity. It's one of my favourites out of the 7 that I've got. But this one right here is another really cool one. This one's holding a balloon which says "I Love Derry," which is the name of the town in the film. And for some reason this one's got a bit less detail around the eyes, which is kind of a shame. But it's pretty cool nonetheless, and it's a nice unique concept they could have done with this. It's a look from the back, and you can't really turn the head on this one either because it's kind of stuck to the balloon for some reason. Moving on to next one. This one's from the funhouse scene. If you guys remember that, he's got his tongue sticking out, which is obviously pressed up against a window like that, which is pretty cool and creepy at the same time. And he's got the sharp teeth sticking out, and yeah, here is a look underneath, and you can kind of see the saliva coming out, which is a bit disgusting, but nice at the same time. They could have easily just left that out. They really do a good job with these Pennywise figures, Funko do. But yeah. And last but not least, we have the one holding the skateboard. I believe this one's a special edition one. He's got a lot of blood around his mouth and on his collar right there, and it says "Won't be there for him either," which that skateboard is in the film, if you haven't seen. And yeah, that's all for him. So that right there is about it for this video of me rambling on for 20 minutes about all of my horror Funko Pop figures, but I do hope you enjoyed. Also leave a like if you like this video, and also subscribe to the channel, as that really help out a lot. A lot more content will be coming soon, including Halloween and horror related videos. So till the next video, this is your guide for all things spooky.